Boss fired the loyal maid after 28 years, but one hidden camera clip ended his entire company. Amaka began working for the Adeyemi family when she was just 23. Back then, Lagos wasn't the bustling, glittering city it is today. The roads were quieter, Ikoyi was still growing, and Victoria Island didn't have half the towers it now boasts. For 28 years, Amaka served the house with loyalty that impressed everyone who met her. She raised the family's children, managed the home, and protected the house with the kind of care a mother gives her own child. Everyone respected her, except one person, her boss, Mr. Tunde Adeyemi. The Adeyemi household had changed. The children were grown. Madam Adeyemi now spent most of her time outside Nigeria, and Mr. Tunde had recently taken full control of the family's construction company, Adeyemi Structures, one of the rising names in Lagos real estate. With that new position came paranoia. One Thursday morning, Tunde stormed into the house holding his phone tightly. "Amaka," he shouted, "come here immediately." She hurried from the kitchen, wiping her hands on her wrapper. "Yes, sir?" "Explain this," he said, pointing to a picture message on his phone. It showed stacks of groceries in the storeroom, items he claimed had gone missing. Amaka blinked. "Sir, I don't understand. Nothing is missing." But Tunde was convinced someone had been stealing from him. And since the only constant in the house was Amaka, she became the easiest target. "After 28 years, this is how you repay me," he said, shaking his head. Her heart tightened. "Oga, I've never stolen anything in my life." He didn't believe her. His voice rose. "I'm giving you one more chance to tell the truth." Tears pooled in her eyes. "I'm telling the truth, sir." Tunde stormed out, furious. What Amaka didn't know was that Tunde had already made a decision. He was convinced she was the thief, and he wanted proof, even if he had to create it. He secretly installed a hidden camera in the storeroom, a cheap, grainy device he bought online. His plan was simple: catch Amaka stealing and fire her publicly to show everyone he was in control. He didn't know this camera would become the beginning of his downfall. The next morning, Amaka unlocked the storeroom as usual. She counted the items on the shelf, recorded them in the housebook, and rearranged the groceries. The hidden camera blinked silently from behind a stack of tissue rolls. Meanwhile, unknown to Tunde, he had a bigger problem. The real person stealing from him wasn't Amaka. It was Kunle, the young errand boy he hired 6 months earlier. Kunle had been sneaking out small items, selling them to a shopkeeper nearby, and deleting CCTV footage from the main house camera. But this new hidden camera was something he didn't know about. That afternoon, Kunle sneaked into the storeroom again, thinking Amaka was outside washing the corridor. He grabbed a bag of rice, hid it under his jacket, and slipped out the back door. The camera caught everything. Saturday morning, the Adeyemi residence buzzed with staff activity. Madam Adeyemi was returning to Nigeria that evening for a quick visit. Everything needed to be perfect. Tunde saw this as the perfect time to make an example of Amaka. He marched into the living room with a furious expression. "Everyone come here," he commanded. The drivers, cleaners, and cooks stopped what they were doing and gathered. Amaka came out slowly, her hands trembling. Tunde held a tablet in his hand. "I have proof," he announced dramatically. "Proof that someone has been stealing from me." Whispers spread among the staff. He pointed at Amaka. "You. After 28 years, this is what you've been doing behind my back." Amaka shook her head, tears already forming. "Sir, please." "Enough," he barked. "You are fired, effective immediately. Leave this house today." A few staff members gasped. "Sir, please," Amaka whispered. "At least let me explain." "There's nothing to explain," he snapped. "Get out." He didn't show her the video. He didn't ask for her side. He simply destroyed 28 years of loyalty in one moment. Later that evening, Madam Adeyemi arrived from London. As she stepped into the living room, she noticed Amaka wasn't there to welcome her. Unusual, since Amaka always greeted her first. "Tunde," she said slowly, "where is Amaka?" He waved dismissively. "I fired her." Madam Adeyemi froze. "You what?" "She was stealing from us," he said casually, sitting down to remove his shoes. "I have proof. I even recorded her in the store." "Show me the proof," she said sharply. Tunde hesitated. Everything had happened so fast, he hadn't even reviewed the footage closely. "Fine," he muttered, opening the file on his tablet. "There, that's the video." Madame Adeyemi leaned forward. The clip played. At first, she saw Amaka arranging items like she always did. But 30 seconds later, Kunle walked into the room, looked around, took the bag of rice, stuffed it under his jacket, and walked out confidently. The clip ended. Silence, heavy, cold. Madame Adeyemi stared at her husband. "Where is the part where Amaka stole something?" Tunde swallowed. Hard. He had made the biggest mistake of his career and his marriage without checking the evidence. "Oh my God," he whispered. Madame Adeyemi's voice was calm but sharp like broken glass. "You fired a woman who raised our children, a woman who dedicated her life to this home, a woman who has been more loyal to us than many family members. And you humiliated her. In public?" He opened his mouth, but no words came out. She stood up. "I want every staff member called back. And someone must go find Kunle." "What about Amaka?" he asked weakly. Madame Adeyemi stared at him. "You will go and beg her yourself." While all this was happening, something else was brewing. The hidden camera clip had silently uploaded itself to the cloud storage linked to Tunde's business account, the same account used by Adeyemi Structures. An IT staff member reviewing files for a system backup found the video. He watched it, confused, then realized the boss accused the wrong person. The real thief was an employee. The boss didn't even check the evidence, and the fired maid had been wrongfully shamed. He shared the clip with another colleague. Then it spread. Within hours, the entire office had seen it. Then someone posted it anonymously on social media. Within 24 hours, it became the #1 trending video in Nigeria. The caption, "This man fired a loyal maid of 28 years without checking the evidence." The backlash was immediate. Clients withdrew their contracts, employees protested outside the office, workers demanded Amaka's reinstatement and Tunde's accountability. News stations picked up the story, radio hosts discussed it. People online called it the downfall of a proud man. By Monday morning, Adeyemi Structures had lost 3 major investors, and the board issued a statement asking Tunde to step down pending investigation. His entire company, once rising, was collapsing because of a single careless decision. Late Monday evening, Amaka heard a knock on her door. She opened it slowly. Tunde stood there, humbled, shaken, exhausted. Behind him was Madame Adeyemi. Amaka didn't say anything. She simply stepped aside so they could enter. Tunde cleared his throat. His voice was barely above a whisper. "Amaka, I'm truly sorry. I made a terrible mistake." Madame Adeyemi spoke next. "We watched the camera footage. You didn't do anything wrong. The real thief was caught. I am so deeply sorry for what happened." Tunde added, "Please, come back. We will do anything to make this right." Amaka's eyes softened, but she shook her head gently. "I served your family with all my heart. I treated your children like my own. But the day you fired me, you didn't look at me like a human being anymore." Tunde lowered his head. Madame Adeyemi stepped forward. "Amaka, whether you return or not, we owe you far more than apologies." She handed her an envelope. Inside was a 5-year salary compensation, a new apartment offer, and a written public apology prepared for the media. Amaka's tears fell silently. For 28 years she had worked quietly, honestly, faithfully, and for the first time the world saw her worth. Kunle was arrested and confessed everything. Tunde was suspended by the company board. The investigation continued, and he lost several leadership privileges. Adeyemi Structures took years to recover from the scandal. And Amaka? She chose not to return. Instead, she used the compensation to start her own small catering business in Surulere, something she had dreamed of for years. Within months, customers lined up daily. People respected her story. People supported her. People trusted her. And for the first time in her life, Amaka worked for herself, not for someone who didn't value her. Her dignity restored, her future brighter than ever. One hidden camera clip didn't just end a company. It finally revealed the truth about who the real treasure had been all along.